Right, John, welcome back, John. We had the show on there a while ago, John, and I don't think we actually recorded any of the show. So we've been waffling on for a quarter of an hour here, John, and I didn't have the thing turned on because it's only, I'm just watching now, we've started at 15 seconds again. So we have to go back and talk about everything else again, John. And well, geez, we were on the right flow. My apologies about that, John.
Look, I suppose we were talking about climate change and ways to reduce your carbon footprint, and we were talking about, I suppose, ways that we do it here. Like there's classes we offer, like we have a sustainability class there that, the buy-in for people really is, besides us saving your planet, because we were saying it's a very selfless thing to do, because a lot of it is for your generations that are going to come after us. But the thing is, we're trying to alert people that, look, a lot of this will actually reduce your energy bills. That's another way you're going to see it and feel it in your pocket. Yeah. So we're doing a sustainability class where we're going to teach people about, like, even with our air frying, like, people don't realize that an air fryer only uses 50% of the energy to cook the same thing that a conventional oven does. Yeah. So straight away, if you get an air fryer, you're affecting your pocket, but you're also using less energy. And there's times when we're warned by the government that there could be a kind of a pinch in the energy, and you've seen the prices they got to. So I suppose, besides the fact you're doing great things for the planet, you're affecting your pocket. And I think that even if you get people on the buy-in of the money aspect of it, that's still a good thing, because it still has a good effect. Rather than it's all about, you're not going to say, oh, we're looking to reduce our carbon footprint, but it's going to cost you a lot. They don't want to hear that, because there's a cost of living crisis, and you can see the prices.
Everyone looks at the bill.
We don't need any more of that.
No. People are struggling there, and
it seems to be a cost to it. Yeah, but like, if we can show people in here the ways to reduce your energy, also will reduce your bills.
One question I did before I forgot to turn this on properly, John, was that the solar panels. Yeah. Say, like, the week we've had now with the rain and the clouds and everything. Yeah. I did ask you earlier on about the solar panels, because some people are actually afraid if they were thinking about going and changing, because how are you supposed to? Yeah,
I'm not an expert on them. I don't think you create a lot of energy through them today, but I suppose the way, I think there's some solar panels that are built just for heating water. Yeah, and there are others then that would we obviously save money on your bill, sell it back to the grid and all.
That's right. But that's
and we're looking at hopefully doing that, where we'll reduce our bills, because we're a non-profit organisation, but also we'd reduce our carbon footprint at the same time. I imagine that they do better in a place like Portugal and Spain, but I imagine, like, I have this, it's small comparison, but like a solar powered radio we bought on, like, transistor radio we bought online, and has the solar strip up top. You can charge your phone in it and all. It's quite handy, and there's a flashlight built into it, and we'd even on the window constantly, and it's always working. So it takes, I know radios don't use a ton of energy, but it's still it's enough to keep it going constantly. Yeah. So I know an overcast day you're not going to get much.
But actually, you're helping with the imprints as well, because batteries are costing.
There you go. That's another.
We're trying to, in fairness, you have a great scheme inside, but we all bring our batteries in and we throw them in.
The battery drop off.
Battery drop off, which is great. Same with mobile phones as well.
And vapes.
That's
another one.
Same, so everything's so disposable now that it's easy to just throw it in the bin and forget about it, and just
we need to get away from that as well. Yeah. And I suppose the other, actually funny you said that, I'm a big fan of upcycling furniture. Yeah. So modern furniture is generally not built as well. No. Those MDF kind of things you get in. I won't name the companies, and you put them together yourself. Like, you remember there was a Dutch furniture shop down below, and it was all quality second-hand imports. And that kind of stuff can be, you can sand it down and varnish it and all. And that's quality, solid furniture that can be passed through generations. We need to be more looking at things like that rather than filling up the landfills.
Don't just changing your three-piece suite every 2 or 3 weeks.
If some of that furniture that you think is wood is actually a ton of cardboard squashed together. That's right. It's ridiculously cheap. And sure, one bit of the tug in it, because it splits, and
bit of water on it.
It doesn't look as good.
No,
it just doesn't. We need to be like, I do like upcycling. I like charity shops are a great thing. Yeah, I mean, you can find bargains in there, like DVDs, Blu-ray, rather than constantly, recycle it. You're finished to give it in.
Someone else will use it.
It's not going into landfill.
Yeah, well, that's the main thing. Like, a lot of people just throw them into bins and stuff, and you like CDs or
exactly,
DVDs, like they'll never disintegrate.
No.
You know, they're made.
Sure, look, see these, John, you're talking our talk. No, we've never tried them about. It's just, there's too sacred, the music.
Too sacred, actually.
Albums.
Yeah. Well, I still have tapes.
I have
cassette tapes.
Yeah. I couldn't throw away. It
No,
would feel wrong, wouldn't it?
No,
I'd feel just wrong.
No.
Wrong.
Blasphemous.
Blasphemous, yes.
But that's taking us nicely in, John, to what you want to talk about today. Care first.
We're talking about switching to renewable energy there. That was really that. So I suppose the other thing was the heady days of the Celtic Tiger, reducing your emissions from air travel. Those days, John, you know, we used to zip over to New York for the weekend.
That's it.
Fifth Avenue, breakfast at Tiffany's and
all.
But you remember people did that. I didn't do that. But
no, I never did.
I mean, the fact is, no, you couldn't have the cost of a flight.
No,
you know. But people said, "Look, I'm going Friday. I'll see you Sunday. I'm going to New York for a shopping trip."
Yeah.
And people that didn't have to be wealthy.
No.
But those days are gone now because they're. You know, it's not what we should be doing. You don't really need to do that, you know.
Well, for weekends, you know, I can understand people if they're going away for summer holidays and stuff.
That's fine.
But no one could afford to go to New York for 2 weeks anyway.
But the emissions alone.
I just said it here, John. I was just reading down there that from flights from London to New York. I just had it down here a minute ago and after missing it.
Carbon footprint.
Yeah, the footprint per person is 3,684 kgs of CO2e for first class, 2671 for business class, and 921 kgs for economy class. Well,
crazy, isn't it?
I'd be in economy class anyway. You'd be probably in business class, John, would you? But it just shows you the kgs is a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and that's flying over.
Yeah, it's like those trips to show you people have their own little kind of cabins on.
Your own little boats out there, and you've everything. You've TV, you've radio.
No. Ridiculous, isn't it?
No. When I win the lottery, John.
Yeah.
Probably going to
get a yacht. Get a catamaran, isn't it? Catamaran.
Sail. No, we wouldn't get out the side of John. We'd probably sink.
I wouldn't know what to do. So I suppose that was reducing your emissions. Some of the other stuff was increasing the efficiency of your office lighting. That's something we've done here. So, LED. I think that light emitting diode. I did electronics at one stage, and I think that's what that stands for. So basically, what it is they don't use as much energy as your traditional fluorescent bulbs.
Yeah,
you know, to be blinking on and off. Yeah. You know, you have time to change it. So they're the kind of small changes you make. Like all these lights have been done, and they're all LEDs.
Yeah,
they're all LEDs. So firstly, it's going to save you money in your pocket for your bills, but you're also not pulling too much from the end of it. These are the kind of small changes that if we collectively make a difference. Yeah. You know?
I noticed with a few elderly people out by us, John, sorry for cutting across you there, they have gone back to start lighting candles at night.
Yeah.
They have they're in the room because candles are dangerous as well, and that's light a candle and walk out of the room and leave it there.
No.
You can't do things like that. But in the room that they're watching TV or whatever.
Well, the scented ones, people like that.
Yeah, a lot of that.
Calming.
And it's calming and stuff. And plus, the LED lights behind the TV, a lot of people don't turn on the lights, they just have this LED light behind the TV.
A strip of lights.
That plugs into the back of the TV.
USB or whatever.
Yeah, plugs into the back of the TV. And you can change colours on that as well.
Which you can get ones now, you're really techie but it changes with the colour of, say, if you're in your screen goes in a bright lit area that's predominantly orange, like a desert.
Yeah.
The lights will go with what's emitting from the TV.
Yeah. You
can get those now. So it mood enhancing lights. So they'll match the kind of overall, like if they're underneath the water, it's going to be bluey green. So your lights will go
amazing.
Isn't it crazy? That's technology, isn't it?
And also a plus side there as well is health reasons as well, because it protects your eyes.
Yeah.
The glare of the TV, if you have the lights out, the glare of the TV
is still got sufficient light.
Sufficient light.
You don't fall over the coffee table.
Yeah. And break your neck then. After a couple of pints.
Yeah, after a couple of pints. So the other one, we're not going to get into the reducing energy usage in the data centres and comms rooms. It's about, it's a bit technical. It's about making sure you have enough cooling systems and more for IT rooms and all that. Optimize your heating and cooling systems. Just even moving things a degree below.
Yeah.
Making sure you're not, pumping up the
energy. Most of the boilers now, John, they have an eco.
The Eco
setting on it.
So and washing machines,
as well.
Yeah, washing machines. It's enough.
It's enough. You just keep it at that. It's warm enough. Yeah. Well, probably the worst ones now in a lot of apartments they have is the storage heaters, or I used to call them storage heaters. The ones that are on the walls.
Yeah.
they're the ones used to burn years ago.
Yeah. That's right. Well, there was other ones as well. It was the heated stones in it, and they'd have the night meters. There used to be, so you get the energy company to set your energy to predominantly use most of your energy at night. So you'd have a low cost setting, so they build up the energy at night, and they'd slowly release it through. It was like a stone.
Yeah.
And they slowly release it through the day. And that was the thing as well. But anything electric tends to be pricey anyway.
Yeah.
So like there's other ones, and I believe they're better in new housing. It's the, what are they called, the heat pump.
Yeah.
So they pump in the air and they pump it out. They don't work well unless in a new housing, because the new housing would have the type of insulation it needs and everything.
That's right. You need the insulation. It's no use having it if you're
for an old building like ours here. If anyone doesn't know this building, it's it's well over 100 years old. And it's an old, real solid
old building.
But it wouldn't do it.
It wouldn't work.
Very high ceilings.
Yeah.
You can imagine. So that's that. So the big one is reduce, reuse, recycle. What we were talking about, just not throwing away stuff. Drop it down to your, like, those clothes banks are great. I mean, you can put an awful lot of stuff in bar. I think there's certain things they don't take, and they're usually marked quite well. But your they'll take your socks, your slippers, your this, your that, your t-shirts. I mean, get them around to the charity shops.
That's right.
Why fill up the
why?
And you know what? You're charged, and people don't like it, but it is a good thing that you're charged for the weight of your bin. And if you go over the weight, it costs you more. Because, I remember as a child, my mother, and, you'd be trying to hide it under the bags. There, now we'll get rid of this.
That's right.
An electric thing. We all did it. And now you can dump, if you have a car, of course, or know someone, you can dump your electrics for free.
That's right.
Like Mungris or somewhere like that. Yeah, they're open 4 or 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. We need to just be clever. I got rid of my microwave, a kettle, and something else, an old alarm clock radio there, and all free.
And plus someone else will use it.
Yeah.
Someone that could be technically minded, there could be something just minor wrong with it, they'll get it going again and they'll use it. And
sometimes, I don't think there's
more times. I don't think
you're supposed to take stuff. Just someone we know. But
there's a few people we know.
But just even rather than they don't go into landfill. I think a lot of the parts are recycled and stuff.
That's right.
Stuff like that. Reuse and recycle. Just making sure that your bins are separated properly. That you're putting your plastics in, clean them out. Your glass and your tin stuff, that can go into this. It's not that far from anyone. There's a place to put your plastics, your brown glass, your green glass, your Heineken bottles, your Budweiser bottles for anyone. Yeah. Or whatever, your medicine bottles or and your tins. I mean, you shouldn't be putting in your Pepsi cans into your own recycling, because, you can get rid of it somewhere else. And if
that's probably what this thing is after coming out now with the cans. Yeah. This thing that you bring them back to the shops.
Yeah.
As we were saying earlier on, when I hadn't thing on about the 25 cent extra you're being charged on them.
Yeah.
But I suppose it became a necessity, really, because there was a woman on last night on one of the shows, and she's from Finland, and she said they're doing this last 25 years.
Yeah, they'd be very matter of fact.
The Scandinavian countries are
they'd be better at it. Yeah.
Miles ahead. Yeah. Miles ahead. John, as well as recycled paper, I don't see many places around. You have to, most of the time, to get recycled paper back, if you want to buy something with recycled paper, it's on the internet. Does anyone do it in Limerick?
Like copier paper and stuff?
Copier paper and stuff,
I think that it has recycling. It depends when you're buying it, the packaging. It usually says it's made from 100% recyclable materials.
Yeah, I know the bins that...
because, I mean, it makes... I'd like to know how much of the paper that goes in, how much is recreated as paper. Like, is it 50%, 20%? I don't know. I'm sure there's a loss of paper, Yeah.
Well, there's some paper you can't use.
No.
If
the recycled toilet paper and all that kind of material. So
you can't. Well, you can use it once, but I don't think you could use that again. That's been flushed out, because that probably disintegrates, which is good.
Probably,
which is good.
But I like that. When you're out on walks in these kind of parks like the zoo and Photo and all these places, I love that there's water kind of bottle, fillers. Yeah. And the idea, you can go into any shop now and there'll be a full shelf or two of those reusable water bottles.
That's right.
And they're all kind of quirky ones. You can get to Mario for the kids. And we get into that habit rather than, I got my whatever brand of water and then just fling it into the bin. No, you're recycling, you're refilling.
Yeah, but it's even the same with the infant school alongside us. They get their meals or their bun and water or sandwiches and stuff. And actually, the water tastes a lot nicer out of the recycled
It's in
bottle.
it's in
the carton.
renewable material.
Renewable material.
Kind of a reinforced cardboard.
It's a beautiful taste.
Yeah,
of
it's
the water,
not kind of tainted with the plastics.
No, it's...
we all say that, yeah. You're definitely right there.
And health-wise, you're doing it for yourself as well, because we don't know, but say if we get a milk, whatever, surely some of the carton must be, or the plastic bottle must be seeping into the milk. Has to be.
Has to be. Some even minute.
Minute.
But
still, but it has to be, because really, plastic is not meant for...
It's not a flavour.
For you want fluids in, you know. But sorry, gone left field again there, John.
No, I suppose the other stuff is minimise emissions from food and food waste. So I suppose food waste can be a source of carbon, particularly if you have a business and the canteen is serving fresh food daily. Like we have chickens at home, and there's no kind of even the lettuce wilts and stuff. They get that. It's like chickens eat anything.
Yeah.
They're not fussy creatures, but obviously you have to check that certain things wouldn't be good for them a lot of the time. But just to get out of the habit of, because I know there's a certain supermarket or a German supermarket that a very good price in vegetables, but it has a shorter shelf life. That's why. But to kind of get out of the habit of overbuying stuff, that you're not going to eat, like make sure that you're not. There's nothing worse than seeing food come in.
Well, Christmas, for instance. We do. All of us in Ireland tend to go over the top with food. Yeah, and there's another thing, and I suppose people don't like to hear this, but it's true to raise. If it's good to have a vegetarian option once or twice a week, because the amount of resources it takes to raise cattle on a piece of land is equivalent to like 4 or 5 times that of crops. Yeah, and by kind of reducing your meat intake, even 1 or 2 days, not asking people to give up meat or anything, you're obviously benefiting yourself, the world, the planet, and the environment. So, it makes sense to kind of, and I know a lot of people, you said it yourself, Dan, you'd often go a day, you might have a vegetarian day, and that helps, like, not to be, they're proven facts, it's not a PETA thing or a, pro-vegetarian thing. Yeah, it's proven to be. But even in my father's case, now he years ago, everyone was in the same boat. Even though he was in the country, they didn't have meat all the time.
No.
So his favourite meal was potatoes, onions. Yeah, that's what he'd have.
Yeah, there's a name for that, wasn't there? It's called.
There was another one called Callan. Was another one. That was with the cabbage.
Was that with cabbage?
Yeah. But they were his favourite meals because he wasn't actually used to having meat. Yeah. Because even though they were from the country, they weren't farmers or big farmers, and things cost.
It was luxury. To be honest.
Meat was luxury back then days, and that was his favourite dinner. Yeah. He could take
without even knowing it, he was benefiting the planet.
He was,
and that's true. You can grow potatoes if you get a black, not have to be a black plastic. You can get a plastic bag, fill it with soil, throw in a few potatoes and the tubers, that grow to them. And just leave them there, and even if you kind of slightly cover it, water, a bit of water, the moisture actually within the bag, you can grow potatoes from that.
Amazing.
It's simple, and there's also another one. You can grow potatoes, and you don't even have to dig the land really. What you can do is, if you ever get brown cardboard that doesn't have too much ink in it, you can put that, lay it out flat, cover it with a bit of soil, and put the potatoes in so the weeds won't come through.
That's right.
Cardboard, and it's used it's common enough. I've done it myself, and it works. So if you just don't want to, I just want to dig 6 inches into, so there's loads of things you could do.
And plus, John, it gives you a lift as well because it's your own.
It's a buzz,
isn't it? Growing it yourself.
It's a buzz,
and you do, and they reckon once you do it once and people start enjoying your vegetables and stuff, you'll do it again and you'll do it again, and it gets bigger and bigger,
And there's 1 or 2. We have a bit of time there, John.
Yeah, no problem, John.
So we said about minimising the single-use plastic. That's the water bottle thing. So this is one for us, John, in the office. And as I'm holding a printed piece of material, trying not to print when you don't have to print. And that's clearly obvious. We do a newsletter here, and we were going to do 4 times a year, but I want it broken down now into maybe 2. And then maybe an e-zine. So it's a newsletter, but it's just sent electronically. The more and more we are digital, probably the better. I know you don't hit as many targets as you want, but we have to be very all the ink, all the paper, the cost.
Everything adds up.
Yeah, everything adds up. Stuff like that. Just, it's often said, like, think before you print. And, that's something, the offices need to do.
Well, even John, in fairness, Joe, you double print pages a lot. I've seen it with you. Unless it's a very, very official paper, you'll actually double one side and then do the other because you're saving paper a lot. So
and that's the way to do it.
Which is good. Because you'd be surprised how you do cut back on costs. I know you're still using the same ink, but you're only using the one bit of paper, and eventually you'll find the costs down the line will subside for, especially on a place like ours or any other community centre around Ireland. Like, money's not flowing or anything like that. You're depending on.
And we don't want to contribute to this. We want, I suppose, the kind of ethos here we have now is to kind of be a kind of focal point for the community to come and maybe learn a bit more about sustainability.
Yeah.
And, even there's this thing in America, especially in Canada, and it's around actually in the UK and stuff. There's a lot of people now with the high cost of houses and all that, they're building what's the tiny house movement. It's called. And they might have a bit of land in the parents' backyard and a little half an acre or whatever. And they almost like they're building them from crates from, the back of trucks and stuff. But they're at a fraction of the cost. They're tiny self-contained units, but they're proving that people don't need a ton of room.
Yeah.
And because, we're in a stage now where we wondering, are the next generation going to be able to afford a house?
They can't, at the moment, even we're speaking,
This may be a way forward because,
even two people, a couple trying to buy a house now, you have to be on astronomical money, the two of you.
Ridiculous.
And that stops people from having a family. You have to delay having your family.
Security.
It's a knock on down the line. I use the job. The problem is, and there's no job secure anymore.
And we got into this habit in this country of we believe it's our right to have that. And I do believe it's our right to have that. Yeah. But, the fact is, it doesn't make it ensure it's going to happen.
No.
We're a very socially minded, socially conscious country. We're strong history of unions, strong history of, advocating for human rights and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is, we're predominantly very capitalist world.
Yeah.
The cost of a certain type of steel from China has quadrupled in the last few years. The cost of houses is not going to come down. And, not to the levels we were used to anyway.
It'll never go back to that.
Never go back. Same way the cost of food's not going to go back to the levels that we were used to. You could really have fed a family of three if you had to, a pinch above 10 years ago and 60 quid a week. You could have done it.
Yeah.
You would have, or you might be doing a lot of branded food or non-branded food, I should say. And, you'd have to penny pinch a bit, but you didn't hope of that now.
No.
You've seen that, you're talking 150 to 200 euros.
Easy.
And
that's lucky. That's if you're lucky.
So look, by reducing all this other stuff, even if it's for the monetary reasons, you're still reducing your carbon footprint. Buy less, only buy what you need. Try and grow a bit if you can. It's fun. It's a great thing to do with the kids. Kids love this. Yeah, you get it, and we need. And this generation, then once they're born into this kind of looking at the world in a different, more protective way, we create a normality.
It'll be better for them. For them.
And that will be the new norm. And because it has to be.
Has to be, John. Yeah.
There's not two ways about it. It has to be.
No, because the proof in the pudding is the way the weather is going, and it's there for everyone to see. Really, we just have to admit it that things are not.
We had Saharan. Didn't we have Saharan sand in the wind or something?
That's right.
There a week ago, and the cars were all dusty.
That's right. Cars were covered.
These things, they're not freak occurrences.
I never heard that. Years
no.
No, years ago.
Remember acid rain used to be in north of Europe there.
That's right.
And that was they used to burn.
Yeah. Never heard. But as I said, we're pumping stuff up into the sky, and we're not reusing things properly. We're not. No. It's just throwing. I'll throw that into the rubbish bin, and then it's going into a heap, and then it's trying to be buried, and then it's
cars pumping, pollution.
Yeah. Even standing by the side of a road, there, you know.
There's cities in China that it's like, it's the equivalent of smoking 20 cigarettes. They're just walking up and down.
There you go. Cars. And you don't think twice about it,
And the person wouldn't smoke.
Yeah.
It doesn't make that choice. It has no choice.
Well, there you go. That's why so many people are chest-wise, where a lot of people, and younger as well, are complaining. Because we are gone a bit healthier smoke-wise.
Yeah,
but then we're inhaling other stuff.
The cost is obviously is a major factor there. People can't afford them. They might not like it, but obviously that's a good thing.
Well, it's a good thing for their own health, John. Plus, but John, it's been a very interesting show, and thanks, John, for all that. And sorry I didn't have the thing.
That's okay,
we've been talking over, John, for...
We've got a rehearsal, John.
3/4 of an hour, John, we went off today. We went
unknowns to
1.5 an hour.
Unknowns to us, John.
My apologies, John. Thanks very much for that, John. And I'd just like to say thank you to St Mary's Adult Education Centre and John for leaving us on the airbus, and also Limerick City Community Radio.
Yeah.
We're very good to leave us on, and we hope that people have enjoyed the show today, and we might have just had a bit of handprinting change in someone's life there today, hopefully for the better.
Yeah.
And
even if it starts a conversation.
Yeah.
That's all you're looking to do.
That's the main thing. We'll be back again in 2 weeks, and with another topic. Hopefully we'll run other topics, John. We'll have to think of something else.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll
have to do one about the Loch Ness Monster or something.
Maybe. Conspiracy theories.
Thanks a lot, John.
Thank you, John.
And we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Have a great rest of your Sunday, and goodbye.